my first gimbal, I had the wide grip and I loved it. Whenever I would go to an event, I was just like in so much control over the shots. Like it just felt like I was steering the shots. The problem with pistol grip gimbals, there's like so much room for error. I find it very awkward to turn. Even though it had the briefcase handle, I still didn't like it. The crazy thing about these things is that they're so portable that they fit perfectly into the Ronin S2's case. It's almost like they knew that you wanted to buy extra accessories for this gimbal. It has these little buttons that you press to take it off. And then this one right here, all you gotta do is just unscrew it, click the lock, comes right off. And it just comes in these two little pieces. My Crane V2, everything was one big piece. It looked like a weapon or like a baton. It's just perfect. So I whip out the Ronin S, the Ronin S2, slide these suckers on, tighten it up, bam. Get this guy, kind of locks on so it doesn't fall off. And then tighten that, and boom, you have a wide grip. They're so thin that it doesn't add that much weight. I think it's just extremely convenient to have these wide grips because it fits directly into the NATO rails on the side of your Ronin S, and it's so small, it just barely takes up any footprint. You can throw it in your backpack super easily. I just feel like it changes the way that you use a gimbal. You know, it goes from having this really awkward setup where you're holding it as like a baseball bat and you're putting so much strain on one arm, especially way back here. I always feel it back there. And then this hand is like practically doing nothing. So you're like resting it on your stomach and doing really awkward things. And like, you just can't really move around too well with it. But this one, it puts the weight in both arms and I can just like easily hold it. So yeah, in terms of like long-term use, you can get way more hours out of this gimbal. You have way more range of motion and like you can control where you can like really control where you're going with it. Because with the pistol grip, if you turn slightly like this, it'll just kind of like look long-term use. I feel like you get way more time out of it because your back's not killing and like you're putting way more weight into both your arms and then you can like keep your back up and yeah, it's awesome. The customization options are amazing with this. Like if you really wanted to, you could take off one of the sides and use just one side. And the nice thing about the NATO rail is that if you really wanted to, you could quickly swap between the wide grip and then also having the briefcase mode that comes with the Ronin S2. You could like untighten it, you can slide them all the way down, and you can may have like a really thin, close to your body feel, or you can have them wide. I prefer to just keep them wide like this. Or you can even flip the Ronin S2 upside down and use it in a way that resembles the Ronin M. I really like shooting low like this because you just get some really like superhero-like compositions shooting from below. And it's really nice for dance videos too. I find with the Ronin S, like even if you're in briefcase mode, it's so heavy. I shot like a dance video for maybe 3 minutes of just shooting lower, and my back was just done. And I had to do that like 5 times. The nice thing about the SmallRig handles is that it comes with a whole bunch of attachment holes, cold shoe mounts on both sides. So you can put a monitor on, you can put a microphone on, you can just completely rig this thing out if you really wanted to. I love that they give you that customization. Because of the wide grip, I just find the stability is incredibly increased. You're running like this, like who runs like this? You're running, what is this, Lord of the Rings? And you're like Aragorn running, holding a giant sword? That's what it felt like when I was using the Ronin S, but this, whew, man, I feel like I'm running down the hills. Like I'm just like, I don't know why you'd be running like that, actually. In conclusion, I love the Ronin S2. It's amazing. And I'll probably use it for the next 5 years at least because it's just like, it's so good. The battery's amazing. The parts that it's made out of, they're gonna last so long. The real champion here are the SmallRig wide grips. It's about like $120 Canadian. I don't know what that's in American, maybe $100 because I think it's gonna completely change the way that you use a gimbal and it's gonna completely change how you appreciate a gimbal. You know, a lot of people don't like using gimbals because they're heavy and awkward and they're not natural. But you can always make a gimbal, you know, you're only limited by the tools If you're limited by the tools, I'm not gonna try and be philosophical here, holy crap. I highly recommend it. I'll have the link down below. I love it. And I'm probably gonna stick with this setup for a really long time because it's amazing. When I was looking up this product, I found like 2 videos. I'm just surprised that not enough people know about this and like are actually using it. If you're looking for a game-changing accessory for the Ronin S2 or the Ronin SC2, I highly recommend the SmallRig wide grips. So yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys.